Alright, so last look at my old infotainment center. If you're familiar with it, got a home page. I usually use Google Maps, which is I use most of this stuff. It's actually really cool. But I'm gonna upgrade to a whole screen here. It's gonna look like basically like a Tesla in here. And stay tuned for the install. Alright, so we figured out that you just need to basically rip this thing off. There's no videos on this right now. So I'm literally using a butter knife here, jabbing it underneath. See how I got it in there? And I'm just gonna basically, Jesus Christ.
There's clips you gotta find.
Try to find a clip somewhere. There we go. And I got one.
There you go. Just
So
keep going around like that.
Keep going around.
Seems really sketchy.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And you want to start at the bottom too.
There we go. Okay, now I think we can kind of yank on it.
The good old butter knife pry tool.
Holy moly, this thing is on pretty tight. So just going all the way around and going back to the bottom here. Oh, there's some in the middle. Oh my God. Can't believe this thing isn't broken yet. Holy crap. All right, there you go. So you get this thing off. All right, so I'm gonna remove these 4 bolts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's obviously metric, but we're using standard, and I think I have a, what is this, 9/16 or something like that. Yeah, 9/32. So we're just gonna undo all 4 of these bad boys, and we'll get back to you when we get this thing off here. Okay. All right, so we got these 4 bolts off, and I see more clips in here, so it looks like we're just gonna have to yank on this thing. There we go.
Damn.
Jesus. All right, check it out.
Oh my God.
All right, so this whole thing's gonna be replaced.
Okay.
All right, so this is what the box looks like. Got a lot of fun info on there, a bunch of different languages. All right, comes with the paper. You scan this thing, and then it gives you the directions on as many directions as it has.
The non-helpful.
Yeah, not very helpful. And this is it. That's what we're replacing it with. Big old screen. You got your same air ducts. You got same hard buttons, but they added a couple on here. And then you get all the wiring here. So all the fun wires you get to mess with. I'm sure there's not a very good install video for that yet. So we're gonna send that.
Is it plug and play? Do you know?
Yeah, it's all plug and play. And also, if you have controls on your steering wheel, we're gonna have to go into there and plug in.
Okay.
All right, so we've just pulled this thing out and we're doing a little comparison.
Oh my God.
Look at this. This is amazing. You basically have more than double the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so this is the tightest wire right here. So I wanted to do that first. You have to remember that there's like a little retaining thing you have to push in, and then you can pull out. So that's kind of the hardest one. After that, this thing comes out a little bit ways, and then you can kind of get to them a little bit easier. So
when you're removing the air ducts here to replace them, make sure you're using butter knives. He looks like he's doing surgery with butter knives right now.
I don't know if you can see this, but there's 3 clips for the air duct on each side. And you basically just get this one on the inside. The lower inside one is probably the hardest to get. Make sure you have your prying tool. All right, get that one first, and then do the easier side second. And then this thing will pop out, and you literally just pop it right into the new spot right here. All right, let's line this bad boy up. Boom.
That works.
Dang, that was nice.
Hell yeah.
All right, so these little clips are a pain in the butt to remove. So I found the best way is get some needle nose. See if I can do this. All right, get on there, and you just tug this thing. Oh my God, there you go. So you get this thing off, and then you shove it on the new unit. All right, so this is what it looks like empty here. We're gonna pull some of these out, put some things in the middle. So this goes into where that thing goes, and then where this thing is goes into here. So we're just basically plug and play the wires. Don't worry about this thing, I pulled it out. I'm just trying to figure out what's inside here, but we're basically unplugging things, putting things in the middle and then plugging them into the back here of the new setup.
All right, what's going on here?
I have no idea. So I plugged this little harness that came with the kit in between what it was supposed to get connected to. Plugging these into the spots. The hardest part is trying to hold this up as you do it, so having a partner might
So I'll help you.
Might help. Hazard lights are on. There's another video that this company has, the Phoenix company, that shows you like where some of these things go into here. That's a little bit helpful, but at the same time, you kind of just have to just like figure it out as you go and take your time. So this little guy had really thin pins. You don't want to just shove it in there and bend a pin. So you still have to be careful, but it might look like a daunting task. Just take your time and find out like, what does this plug look like, and then put it in. You know, don't put a round peg in a square hole. Yeah. So just take your time and cuss a lot.
Keep plugging away.
Yeah, and if you drank a lot of coffee like I did, you're just gonna be like lit off cocaine trying to do this. My buddy Camp left me. This is getting a little tedious here, but I found that this part was very difficult to get off. All right, so you basically there's a bolt underneath right here you take off, and then you basically pry this open with use my trusty butter knife here. Just pry it open on either side, and then you have to basically get your steering wheel at such an angle to get this thing clear, and then you pull it out, right? So we're pulling this thing out, put it to the side, and this is my little extra harness that it comes with the kit. I'm basically pulling this guy out, which I already did, and I'm gonna plug this in between and then run this little guy all the way down.
Okay.
All right, so this is your GPS right here. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the little wire going back, and I'm gonna stick it right in here. And all you do is you kind of shove it in, and I'm gonna put this down for instructional purposes. And you shove it in, and I used my trusty butter knife to kind of stick this wire kind of back in. This thing is amazing.
The butter knife install.
Yeah, totally amazing. So I pulled the weather stripping back, and this looks like a complete mess right now. And this is a little bit ghetto, I guess, but so I can basically run all this down, all the way down, and I'm gonna use all of this wire here to run underneath the steering wheel, and then I'm gonna pop this wire down through here, stick it out of this big old hole, and basically plug it in right here, screw it down, and that's your new GPS that you're using for the unit.
Wow.
I know. Alright, moment of truth. I got it in. I didn't fully install it yet. I didn't fully shove it in there. But moment of truth here. I think I got all the plugs. This thing is crazy with the plugs. Oh! I didn't think I'd get it. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. There are so many plugs back here. Just make sure you find where everything goes. There's even one in the back of the unit that I didn't find a plug for, so I literally like didn't put anything in there, but it looks like it's working. So I'll get back to you once I fully install this deal. Wow. So I'm just gonna show you that it's kind of has this first time setup situation. I don't know. It has its mind of its own right now. This thing is pretty legit. I just gotta get used to the buttons and all that, but I'll definitely do another video another time and kind of go through the software of all this stuff. But all right, so I had to run to work. That's why it's dark out now, but I've kind of finally figured out how to install a bunch of this stuff. So I'll take you through some of the stuff I think is pretty cool. Obviously, watching videos while you're driving is definitely not something you want to do, but it's cool. You have YouTube whenever you want, as long as you have your internet hooked up. Jarrett Campisi's page, pretty cool. He's got some great videos to check out. Let's do, what else we got? Let's do Instagram. You go on Instagram. I just signed in, so hopefully it pops up here. I do think it's a little bit slow, but it's actually still really cool. I think I actually just turned the car around, so it is going a little bit slow. But once it gets going, it actually is nice that it warms up. You know, well, it goes a little bit faster. But there you go. That's a 6 ZR2. You just got to find your way through this, the plugs in the back, and then you're kind of on your way. But lots of cool stuff. You can mess with the lighting and, you know, all these little guys down here. But anyway, that's the install, and I highly recommend it. There's a couple things I might have to call the company about, but other than that, it's so sick. And I'll catch you guys next time on my the next install of my ZR2.